Okay, we are live streaming now. We bring Mr. Lester in, and once I get a connection, ma'am, you can come forward now. Yeah, just you stay where you are, Chad. You're fine. Just come up to this side, if you would, please. Okay, Mr. Lester, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Shannon, put us on the record, please.
Okay.
All right, this is the matter of Lester versus Lester. Mr. Derek Lester is present via Zoom. And obviously you can see who else is here. Counsel?
Just for the record, Benjamin Whiting appearing on behalf of Tanisha Lester, who is present in the courtroom here today. Today is set for a pretrial conference in this matter. Your Honor, I've had difficulty getting a hold of Mr. Lester. Mr. Lester did stop by my office without an appointment and left a message for me, but however, unfortunately, in that message, I believe his phone number was transcribed wrong. If I could ask Mr. Lester to confirm his phone number for me.
It's 517-247-0998.
247.
09.
4 digits.
0998.
Your Honor, I have a proposed settlement offer that I'd like to go over with Mr. Lester to see if we can resolve this matter. Communications between the parties have been a bit difficult because there is a standing PPO and there has been a couple alleged PPO violations that I believe this court will be addressing later on today at 10 o'clock. As such, we have a trial in this matter set for April 8th. I would like to convert that to a pretrial date with the hopes that we could have this resolved at that point in time.
On my file is indicating that trial got moved to April 22nd. Oh, and I know why, because my wife is having knee replacement surgery and I'm taking off that day.
Understandable. My mom about 10 years ago did double knee replacements at the same time. No complications, but she did jokingly say that she wanted to go back for the other one.
My wife had her first one done several years ago, and absolutely, she had such a tough experience with that. She did not. She's been very resistant to getting the second one done, but now it's gotten so bad that she can't get around without pain. So,
well, my best to your wife and a speedy recovery, and hopefully they get her up and moving the first day. So, as such, I do believe I recall seeing that rescheduling having been done just here in the past few days on the Register of Action, which might explain why I haven't received it yet in the mail.
All right.
But I would like to keep that next date as a pretrial conference with the hopes that we can, between the parties, I can bring them to a resolution on this matter.
Okay, I will give Dawn a note to do that. And hopefully you're able to work things out. Mr. Lester, did you have any questions for me on this pretrial matter?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I got actually two questions. Like my first question is, when being talked about working things out, like what exactly is needed to be worked out, like.
Well, with a divorce without children, the issues to be worked out are simply who gets what property, and is there going to be any spousal support paid? Is there real estate that needs to be divided, or any assets to be divided?
I could actually kind of simplify this. The home was owned premarital. She has indicated that she would like to retain her vehicle. She would like Mr. Lester to retain his Malibu and to refinance the vehicle into his name. Personal property's already been divided. All bank accounts and debts have already been divided. They never had joint accounts. We propose that each keep their own.
No, we
along
actually
with any
did,
retirement
but we ended
accounts.
the joint account like a long time ago.
So
So it's
largely,
not.
I
It's,
believe the only remaining issue is will you be willing to refinance the Chevy Malibu into your own name?
of course, I will. I will. I already, like I already spoke to my wife, like, and I already explained that to her. Like, my only issue was that, um, my issue was like honestly was just the stimulus money. Like, I don't feel like she like properly distributed it to me. Like, that's just the only issue that I had.
Well, Mr. Lester, instead of broadcasting financial information live over YouTube, now that I have your correct phone number, I will be reaching out to you. And it sounds like we're pretty close to resolution in this matter, and I can draft a consent judgment for you to review, approve, and if it meets your approval, sign, and then we can enter this in with the court.
Um, I'm sorry. There was some noise going on in my background. Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, what he said, Mr. Lester, was simply that it sounds like from what you've said today already, that the issues that would stand in the way of doing a consent judgment of divorce are probably easily resolvable. And he just needs, now that he has your phone number, he needs to have a private conversation with you rather than putting it out for the world to hear, which
Absolutely.
is what you,
No, I
okay? Is that okay with you?
Oh, that's perfect, Judge.
All right. So I will change the trial date to a pretrial, and hopefully we'll be ready to put a judgment on the record then. If not, if there are things you can't work out, we'll just schedule a trial date.
And Your Honor, if we do come to us, if I do have a signed consent judgment from the parties before that date, I'll notice it on for a pro-con hearing if the court's available.
Okay. Very
I think
good.
I think because because it was a short-term marriage and there's not a lot to divide, like it won't be hard to resolve this matter at all.
Okay, that sounds good. So, Mr. Lester, that concludes our pretrial. I'm going to put you back into the waiting room because we're not quite ready to hear the other matter. It's scheduled for 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I did ask Mr. Rosenthal if he could zoom in earlier, so hopefully he'll be here soon.
Oh, actually, he did zoom in. So well, let's see. Somehow, all right, once you have a seat, I'm going to deal with this juvenile matter.
Real quick, Mr. Wade, do you need to speak to my client? I don't know if there's been any communication between the two of you.
I haven't spoken with your client. I can just go over on the record what I talked to her attorney on when the case is called.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wade. Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Lester, I'm going to briefly put you back into the waiting room, but as soon as I deal with this other matter, we will be able to move on to the PPO violation, okay?
Okay.
And your attorney is present in the waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
We'll bring him in as soon as we're ready to go forward. Well, you know what? I wonder if he wants a chance to talk to you.
I'm not sure.
Have you talked to Mr. Rosenthal yet?
Yeah, we spoke once, I think last week, and then maybe briefly this morning because I had the time wrong. I thought it was for 9 o'clock and it was for actually 10.
All right. Well, hold on a minute. Let me bring him in and see if he wants to speak with you privately before we do that case.
Okay.
So, Mr. Rosenthal, I was getting ready to move on to another matter. We had Mr. And Mrs. Lester both here for a pretrial, so they were here early. Did you need to have a private conversation with Mr. Lester?
No, Your Honor. It's my understanding the matter is resolved pursuant to my conversations with Mr. Way. So I've already spoken to Mr. Lester. He knows what's going on, so I do not.
All right, so just sit tight for a minute then.
Okay.
Okay, and somehow Cole Lundquist ended up back in my waiting room. I'm not sure how that happened, but let me bring him in. Here we go. Took a little while to get a connection last time. Hopefully it doesn't take quite so long. Cole, are you able to hear me? So, Mr. Hotchkiss, are we planning on entering a plea today?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. You know, I don't have a juvenile plea script. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to ask. So hold on a minute. Maybe there's something in this book that I inherited from someone else. So I've got some adult pleas, which I've never used. Is there much difference between an adult plea and a juvenile plea, Mr. Way?
Just the potential consequences, I guess, but I think we can probably fill in the gaps if there are any that we need to, Your Honor.
All right, I'll just use this adult script then. I don't see a juvenile one in here. Let me make sure. Oh, I do have a juvenile plea. I must have done this once before. Okay. But we don't have Cole. We lost him.
Yes, Your Honor. His connection, I believe, is fading in and out, and I noticed it when we were in a breakout room. It's spotty, and so I don't know. Hopefully, he could sustain internet connection long enough to take the plea, but he is fading in and out.
I can do it by telephone. Cole, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Looks like your signal's not the best. Are you on a telephone? Is that how you're connecting?
Yes, Your Honor.
Why don't you give me that phone number? And I'm going to get you on my telephone so we don't have a problem with you fading in and out, okay? And,
Yes, Your
but
Honor.
we are now on the record in the matter of Cole Lundquist. Mr. Way is present for the prosecution. Mr. Hotchkiss represents Mr. Lundquist. Mr. Lundquist is present by Zoom, but with a poor connection. So I'm going to try to get his phone. And sorry, go ahead and give me that phone number, Cole.
7.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Do we have a score?
392 7.
So I got 517. Was it 392?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the last four?
7368.
All right, I'm going to be dialing you right now.
Hello?
Hello, Cole? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so my understanding is that Mr. Hotchkiss, your client is going to be entering into a plea today.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so let's see. My script doesn't say I put him under oath, but I always do that when I take a plea, so I'm going to do that now. Cole, would you raise your right hand, please?
Okay.
You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and that's until I'm gone.
Okay. And state your full name for the record.
Paul Michael Lundquist.
All right, so let me see. What you have been charged with is domestic violence.
Yes, Your Honor.
Domestic violence is an offense that carries a maximum penalty of 93 days incarceration and or a fine of up to $500.
Yes, Your Honor.
If the plea is accepted, you would not have a trial of any kind, so you would be giving up the rights that you would have if you had a trial. Those include the right to a trial by a judge or by a jury, the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, the right to have the petitioner prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to have witnesses against you appear at the trial, the right to question those witnesses, the right to have the court order any witnesses for your defense to appear at the trial, the right to remain silent and not have that silence used against you, and the right to testify at trial should you choose to do so. Do you understand that you would be giving up all of these rights if I accept your plea today?
Yes, Your Honor.
So there has been a recommendation from the prosecutor's office So I'm not reading in this form that I said, but my understanding of the agreement with the prosecution is that sentence would be delayed. Why don't you put the terms on the record, because I'm having trouble reading this document.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll send you an updated plea form to make it a little more clear. The offer is a plea under advisement as charged, meaning that if Cole completes probation successfully and is discharged by the court, that the court would then dismiss this petition, and there wouldn't be no formal adjudication on his record.
All right. So Cole, do you understand the recommendation that the prosecuting attorney is making?
Yes.
Have there been any other promises made to you or threats made to get you to enter a guilty plea to the offense today?
I don't think there's been any threats made.
Have there been any promises made other than what Mr. Way just placed on the record?
No.
All right. So I'm seeing in my plea procedures where I'm supposed to inquire of his parents whether or not there's any reason the court should not accept his plea. Is that required in order for me to take a plea? Because we don't have a parent present.
Yeah, generally the parents are present, but I have no objection to proceeding without them as long as both Cole and Mr. Hotchkiss are comfortable with that, Your Honor.
I'm comfortable proceeding.
Your Honor, my mom was waiting for a call, actually.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yep.
Do we?
She was at work. She was waiting.
Oh, okay.
She was given the Zoom information and contacted me after the last hearing and indicated she would be present.
She's not.
She had the information. I don't know why she would expect a call.
I don't mind calling her. I just need her phone number.
Have that.
Cole, what is her
It
phone?
is.
What is her phone number?
It's 517 392 8380.
All right. And what's your mother's name?
Elizabeth Har.
Is she related to Manetta Har?
I possibly it's her husband that gave her the last name.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Oh, so hold on a minute. Cole, if I lose you, I will call you back.
Okay.
Conference. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hello, is this Elizabeth Har?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. This is Judge LaFlamme. I just found out that you were expecting a call for this hearing for Cole this morning. Hold on a minute while I conference him back in.
Okay.
Okay, Cole, are you there now?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and Ms. Har, are you still there?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, I was in the process of taking a plea and realized that I'm supposed to be asking you whether you had any objection to the court accepting the plea. What has happened, and I don't know what all has been explained to you, is the prosecuting office has recommended that if Cole were to plead guilty to the offense, that his plea would be held under advisement by me, and assuming he completes the conditions of his probation successfully, the matter would be dismissed and he would have no conviction on his record. Cole has indicated a desire to plead guilty based on that plea recommendation, sentence recommendation. Is that something that you find acceptable as his parent?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And I do apologize for not including you earlier in the proceeding, but I didn't realize it until I asked the question. So, let me, and my apologies, I've handled very little juvenile pleas. I think I maybe have done one other one in my entire time on the bench. And I'm finding this plea script to be somewhat inadequate. So give me just a second. So Cole, let me ask you, knowing that you will be giving up all of the rights that I explained to you just a few minutes ago, is it still your wish to plead guilty to the charge of domestic violence?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and I assume I'm required to take a factual basis.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Could you establish a factual basis, please, Mr. Hotchkiss?
Yes, of course, Your Honor. Cole, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, perfect. On or about September 9th, 2021, were you in the county of Jackson in the state of Michigan?
Yes, sir.
Were you at your house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was your girlfriend in the house with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you get into a verbal altercation regarding money?
Yes, sir.
Did that verbal altercation turn physical?
Yes, sir.
Did you shove your girlfriend at that time?
Yes, sir.
And does your girlfriend live in the house with you?
No, sir.
But you are in a dating relationship, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did your girlfriend sustain any injuries as a result of you shoving her?
A bruise.
She was bruised?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I believe that's a sufficient factual basis for the allegations. If the court would like to take inquiry of my client, we do so at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Counsel, do you believe the court has complied with all applicable statutes and court rules in accepting this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I guess I need to ask you, Cole, how do you plead to the offense of domestic violence?
Guilty, Your Honor.
I do accept this plea. I find that it was knowingly, understandingly, and voluntarily made. The court is going to take this plea under advisement. What are the recommendations for probation?
Current terms.
Current terms?
Yes.
Does everybody know what those are?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
So is there any other hearing or that I need to?
We need a disposition.
We need a date for disposition?
Yes.
Oh, we can't do that today?
I don't have your location? No.
Oh, okay. How much time do you need to do that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? We'll set that for 2 weeks from today at 9:30. Well, let's see, we set this for 9, let's set it for 9 a.m.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, any questions of me or anything else I need to address on the record with this matter today?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cole and Ms. Haar. That concludes our hearing.
I will call them within the hour.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your time, Your Honor.
Have a good day.
Yep,
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
I feel like a fish out of water, my friends. Okay. Let me make sure I get this order completed properly. There's no box to check for prosecutor. As the parties present. Is that because they're not normally here?
They're sometimes here.
I'm just going to write it in. I think that's everybody. So the petition's already been authorized, correct?
Yes.
Attorney's already been appointed. The minor is adjudicated as stated on the record. Is that true if it's under advisement? Do I check that? Or do I just keep it under, let's see if there's a box for that. Or do I write it in other?
Usually it's written in across with 2, then it's written plea PUA with the charge over here.
So right here I put PUA.
PUA. Mm-hmm.
There's just one count.
Yes.
So count 1, PUA, okay.
And then they put either the MCL or domestic violence here to know that which
About
it was.
DV, does that work?
Yeah.
Matter is adjourned for dispositional hearing, okay.
Except for 4/8 at 9 a.m.
What day is it?
The 8th.
Yeah, I won't be
April.
here.
I'll have to
I
move
should have
it.
looked at the calendar. I'm
We'll
off
have to
that
move it.
week. We'll have to do the following week.
Okay.
Could you-
So it'd be 15th.
Let everybody know.
I'll let them know. I need to do an intake, so I need to call him today. I'll let
Okay.
him know it'll be the next week.
15,
Do you have his
21,
calendar?
9 a.m.
9 a.m. would work that next Thursday.
We'll just do it, yeah.
Okay.
Pardon me.
I'm
You
usually
said you'll just do
here,
it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's fine. It's my domestic day, but we just squeeze it in.
okay.
Pending the next hearing, minor will be under the supervision of this court. Remain in the care and custody of the mother, right?
Yes.
Well, I think that's everything.
So,
If I missed something, let me know.
that should be good.
Okay,
All right.
here we go. Would you
Good.
make sure that Kelly gets that so
Yes.
she knows to get it on my docket?
I'll do it right now.
All right, thank you, Chad.
Have a good one, Chad.
You too.
We gonna try.
Okay, so let's see, next up, I think we're now ready for the Lester versus Lester show cause hearing. So let me get Mr. Lester back in here. So Shannon, Mr. Rosenthal, appointed to represent Mr. Lester, is present via Zoom, as well as Mr. Lester, and you can see who's in the courtroom. Mr. Way is present on behalf of the prosecution. So in the matter of Lester versus Lester, I understand, counsel, that you reached an agreement as to a recommendation.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Lester is going to be entering a plea today to the alleged PPO violation.
That is correct, Your Honor. Based upon my conversation with Mr. Way, it's my understanding that Mr. Lester will be pleading no contest. It's my understanding there's a pending criminal matter. I think there's a misdemeanor that's actually pending right now going on, with the understanding that Mr. Way has indicated to me that he's going to recommend an admonishment. It's my understanding that Mr. Lester did not go to jail. He was not arrested for this offense, but then subsequently did get charged with the underlying misdemeanor. So.
That's correct, Your Honor. There is an open criminal case, and there could certainly be additional consequences to Mr. Lester as a result of that. I would note, as we do in all of these cases, if there is a second violation, we would certainly be seeking a longer jail sentence.
All right, and Ms. Lester, you've heard the recommendation from the prosecution. Is that something that's acceptable to you?
Is that to wait until
Well, the criminal case will move forward independent of what I'm doing today. So this has no impact upon that, other than I'm taking a no contest plea. That means he's not actually going to admit to the violation here, because that could prejudice him in the criminal case. But what he is going to do is plead no contest. That means he's not going to contest the violation. That means I'll be able to go ahead, based upon his no contest plea, to find him guilty of the violation, and give him a very strong and stern warning. And obviously, if there are repercussions in the criminal case, he'll have to deal with those.
Absolutely.
But there won't be separate repercussions here unless he were to violate the PPO again in the future.
I understand.
And is that acceptable to you?
It is, yes.
Okay, Mr. Lester, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes. Can you see it?
You do? I can. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
State your full name for the record.
Derek Devon Lester.
So, Mr. Lester, do you understand that you will be pleading no contest today, and that by doing so, you are giving up the right to a contested hearing and obviously to the right of representation by an attorney at that contested hearing?
Yes.
Do you understand that the maximum penalty for violating a PPO is 93 days in jail or a fine of up to $500?
Yes, I understand, Judge.
Do you understand that any?
Yeah.
Did you have a
I'm
question?
sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I paused for a minute, like when I heard the 93 days in jail, like jail, my kryptonite. I'm so sorry. I digress. You can carry on, Judge.
All right. Do you understand that any appeal of your sentence would be by leave of court and not by right?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about anything I told you so far?
No, I do not.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything other than what's been stated on the record to get you to enter into a plea today?
No, I just know I'm not going to violate that PPO again. I know that.
Well, that's good to hear. Are you entering this plea of your own free will?
Yes.
Now, I need you to tell me, how do you plead to the PPO violation?
No contest.
All right. And let's see. I normally have something for a factual basis. Can I simply rely, counsel, on the verified can find it. The verified affidavit in motion that was filed seeking a violation for a PPO. Is that sufficient?
No objection,
Your Honor, that's fine. And it's fine for me too, I believe. And I don't know if it's the same thing. There's also, I think I have basically a police report that kind of, the preliminary sheet that kind of suggests that's exactly what was said. So.
I'm confused. A police report that was said something that I said something?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have the police report. I'm just simply going to rely on the verified affidavit that Ms. Lester filed. I do accept the plea. I find that it was knowingly, understandingly, and voluntarily made. I find that the record supports that one or more of the statutory grounds alleged in the petition are true. Huh.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, how does PPOs like only work to where, like, if somebody file a PPO on you, then when they file it on you, you can't be in communication with them, but then it's okay for them to communicate with you?
Well, it's unwise for them to communicate with you, but it is not a violation. The PPO only restricts the respondent. That's you. It does not restrict the petitioner. So
in
even if
legal terms, if somebody put a PPO order on you, like if you don't contest it, you're pretty much screwed.
Well, you absolutely, if you don't challenge the PPO, you absolutely must observe all the requirements of the PPO. And even if the petitioner says, hey, Derek, it's okay, I want to talk to you, can you come over? You don't do it. You absolutely do not do it. You don't do anything, regardless of whether she gives you permission to do it or not. She can't give you permission to violate the PPO.
I will not give anyone permission to cause me to be stupid.
Okay, I'll accept that. And I am, in terms of a sentence, I'm simply going to give you a strong admonition. Don't violate this PPO again. And I don't care if she's baiting you into a violation. And ma'am, I don't mean to suggest that's what happened. But even if she is baiting you into it, don't do it. You can't be with her. You can't be around her. You cannot do anything in violation of this PPO. I often accept, I didn't know that. I thought it was okay if she said okay. When there's a first violation, I don't accept that when there's a second violation. You need to stay clear of her as long as this PPO is in place.
I will.
Okay, I think that concludes this hearing. I need to fill out this order after hearing, and we'll make sure you get copies of it, ma'am. You are free to leave.
Great. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you all. That concludes our hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Wake.
You said you got an order there.
Yeah, I gotta fill it out. All right, Mr. Lester, I'm gonna boot you out. Have a good day, sir. You might want to wear a shirt the next time you appear on a Zoom hearing.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Judge, because this is my first time ever having to do court from home. So I was relaxed, and I'm sorry. I definitely will next time.
Okay, have a good day, sir.
You too.
I was wanting to say something, but wait a minute, it's not my problem. You guys have a good weekend. Judge,
You too.
See you. Hope your wife has a speedy
recovery. Hey, thank you so much.
So, is she doing it in town or?
Yeah, Dr. Expo is going to do it. He did my hip back in August.
Oh, yeah?
He's Allegiance Henry Ford employed surgeon, and he's excellent. He's excellent.
My parents, my dad has started to become a frequent flyer too. We've never had a bad experience with anyone at Henry Ford. So,
The new guard over there, the newer physicians they brought in, particularly in the area of orthopedics, have just been breath of fresh air.
and they talk so cool and calmly, like you're gonna get a lollipop afterwards and you're just gonna be fine, like you're handing out candy. So,
Yeah, we really like him. And I've had an excellent outcome.
well, hope it's a nice smooth one, and at least the weather will be nice, so it'll be a good excuse to get out and walk, and wouldn't that be, right? So,
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to her getting mobile again. It's really hampered. We live right next to the McCready Reserve, and we love to walk over there, and we can do it without crossing a street. But there's too much pain, so she's not able to walk.
it'll be a heck of a spot to have to spill and then trying to get back up and get on there, depending on how deep.
Yeah, that's not the danger. It's just every step is painful. So walking is not a pleasure. It's painful.
Well, hopefully it goes smoothly and be out in time for all the nice spring leaves and flowers. So, you guys have a good one.
Thank you. You too. So I've got Robert Sharp in my waiting room. I'm just going to leave him there. He doesn't have anything on my docket today. Okay, next up is the matter of Welch versus Shavers. Antonio Shavers is present. Ms. Welch is not present. I made sure that Ms. Welch got served with the notice of hearing. My court officer took care of that. She was served by mail on March 11th. She is not present. Because she's not here, I am going to grant your motion, Mr. Shavers, and I'm going to dismiss the PPO.
Okay.
Have a good day, sir.
All right. Thank you. You too.